Hi, everyone. My name is Landry Etheridge with the Etheridge Counseling Group, and I have a special guest with us today, Dr. Etta Gant, here to talk with us about depression and suicidal ideation. So welcome so much, Etta. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
So I'm so interested to hear your experience. I'm a therapist, you're a therapist. We've both worked with this population quite a lot. But I'm interested to hear what that experience has been like for you working with clients who maybe have thoughts about death or thoughts about not wanting to be here, or maybe some specific thoughts about suicide. What's that been like for you to work with that population?
Yeah, this is a population that's really special to me and that I have a lot of warmth and empathy towards because unfortunately there's a lot of stigma around
Mm.
depression and suicide, which just really makes it worse for people. The shame and guilt like just spirals and monopolizes. Um, Because people that are feeling depressed, maybe to the point of thinking about hurting themselves or having already made attempts to hurt themselves or to end their life, are often given really terrible messages that they're selfish and that they're not thinking about other people, when a lot of times that's kind of all they are thinking about.
Mm.
Um, Usually, feeling severely depressed or suicidal comes with feeling like a burden to others, or like you're only bringing other people down. Because unfortunately, that's how depression works. The negative thoughts just build and build on each other until someone's left feeling completely alone and in the dark. And that it always breaks my heart to hear of people getting to that point because that's very lonely. It's very isolating, and the deeper and darker it gets, the more real it feels and the more real it seems that like you're not really yourself anymore, that instead like you are this darkness that surrounds you. And that's a really terrible experience to feel in a sad way to be.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times it does kind of feel like the last ditch effort or the last coping skill, if you will. Really feeling like it can be a super dark place, obviously, but it's a really lonely and isolating place to be. That doesn't mean necessarily that you aren't around people, but you can feel really disconnected from other
Mm-hmm.
people. It's sort of like internal disconnection from, yeah. In working with these clients, is there any advice or anything that you would want somebody to know or hear who's maybe had some similar thoughts or struggling in that way?
Yeah. So, I don't know if this fully answers your question, but like you were saying about the last coping skill, I usually think, and so does a lot of research show, that suicidal thoughts are like the escape route to pain.
Mm.
So they usually come up around following thoughts of, I'm not going to be able to handle this if it happens. So they can come up in anticipation for something bad that's going to happen, or something bad has happened, and the thoughts are growing of this terrible thing has happened. I can't handle this. I can't handle this. This is going to be my only way out. Um,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
so those are the times to connect with someone else, because usually when you're able to connect with someone that you trust and you trust to hear your story, that you're able to take a few steps forward and get yourself at least to the next day. Because those moments of pure darkness are usually coming from a depressive episode or from one specific crisis. And those things are short term. They may cycle, they may happen again, but they do pass. And so finding yourself to safety or to just connection can be huge. And that's for if you have a thought of doing something very specific to end your life today, or if you're having even more vague thoughts of, I wish I could just go to sleep and not wake up, or go to sleep for 30 years and this all be over. Um, whether you're wanting to go through with those thoughts or if they feel real to you or not, they are telling you that something is not right. Something's not going right in your life, and you're ready for that to change.
Hmm.
So, having people that you trust, having a therapist or mental health professional to connect with is crucial to get you through those moments.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to clarify, I think thoughts about death or thoughts about our mortality is normal and even healthy. But when it sort of shifts to sort of this longing to not exist any longer is, yeah, I think exactly what you said, sort of a sign that something in your life, one of your emotional, mental, physical needs isn't getting met. And sort of your brain and body's best coping skill in the moment that it can come up with. But as you said, that even though it feels incredibly real and overwhelming in the moment, there is hope that that state can shift. Um, yeah, given, and you mentioned connection. I would 100% agree. Feeling connected to another person. I mean, I think it's more prevalent than people even realize. I was looking at some statistics recently. Um, One was saying 33% of people know someone who's died by suicide. And I think it was 2015 or 2014, suicide was the second leading cause of death for people between 10 and 34, which is, I mean, that's astounding. Um, and I think a lot of that does come from how disconnected we are from a community or a safe group of people or family or friends.
Mhm.
And therapy can be a really great way of immediately forming safe connection.
Yeah, and it's a model too of finding the right people that you can form more safe connections with.
A model, like if here's one safe connection. If you've done it once, you can replicate it in other relationships, basically. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I will say, and I'll put this information in the comments, but if anybody out there listening is having suicidal thoughts and it doesn't feel safe, there you can call the National Suicide Hotline right now on your phone, 988, and you can immediately speak with somebody who can kind of walk you through and give you some support. So definitely would recommend that resource, just dialing 988.
Mhm.
So, well, thank you so much, Etta, for chatting and talking about this population that I know is important to both of us. We've worked a lot with that population, and yeah, thank you so much. Hopefully, we'll talk more.
All right, thanks.